we've got 50 Shades of Jody in command.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine. How you doing in the big chair?
I'm doing okay. It's, as usual, it's like a Tasmanian devil came onto the desk and stirred everything up like a hurricane. But baby Tasmanian devils are adorable, so that's okay.
Do you know where all the buttons and things are on the box? Do you know how to use the box?
Sometimes it's no.
It's always amazes me. Stephanie doesn't even look.
No, she just knows where it is by habit.
She just knows her box so very well.
She does know her box, and she's gotten to know her other box better recently.
No one else does, but that's the same.
Hey, oh my.
Do we have a GPS locator on Stephanie? Do we know where she is on her ride?
I don't think she's upstairs.
I don't think so. The light isn't on. I haven't heard dogs or anything.
I thought she was riding her bike all over California.
She was here yesterday.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I get an update of whether or not she's battling rattlesnakes or something.
Or wild otters.
Yeah, or wild otters.
Don't go to Alaska. Wild otters.
Or goats. Did you see the goats in Atlanta?
No.
Yes, the goats took over a neighborhood in Atlanta.
Buckhead. Yeah.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
That's fun.
They were brought in by a supermarket to cut down the grass,
right,
or whatever, and apparently they got out of their electric fence and started running all over Buckhead.
Well, then the forests will be clean. They do know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They know
goats are very smart critters.
They are, and they're adorable.
And they had herding dogs, and the herding dogs weren't very useful either.
So, Charlie, you tweeted out something that I loved. CPAC is an Orban town, is a bit on the nose. Was Nuremberg booked? Very funny. I mean,
to me, this is a bigger story.
It should be.
That is being covered. That CPAC, which, I've been to, 3 of them now? 4 of them, actually. Luckily I had all my shots before I went there. It's being taken place in Budapest.
I know.
And Mike Pence is over there giving a speech right now.
Oh my God, that's just it's crazy talk, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're right.
The Republican Party is at this point is so far out of control that it's unimaginable that there's anything beyond it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I agree.
I mean, a sensible political party would tell Mike Pence, if you go to Budapest and talk to, what is clearly a white supremacist international,
mm-hmm.
you will not be a political office holder in this country under our banner ever.
I agree.
But they can't do it because nobody has the power to do it.
Well, and you write about why we need to be freaking out more about our voting problems versus our economic, which we do have, but you're absolutely right. I mean, the voting rights bill needs to pass.
I think and what bothers me is I think it's getting lost in all the noise.
Yeah.
Almost nobody is talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's because Biden really wants this stuff passed economically first. That's my sense of it. Does that make sense to you?
Well, my theory that the two-track strategy was just crazy enough to work. It turned out it wasn't crazy enough to work.
Right, unfortunately.
Pelosi has said that she's going to decouple the bills and pass the, bipartisan, bill first. And, I guess hope against hope that the conservative Democrats don't torpedo the other one.
Yeah, she's going to have to bang some heads or something,
Sure.
Yeah.
Because she's...
I mean, and I know it's not fair that it falls on these people again, but I hope the progressive Democrats in the House don't screw this up.
It sounded like with...
They have every reason. They have every reason right now to be furious.
Of course.
I mean, they really do. They're being torpedoed by corporate members of their own party.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt about that. And they are closer in their policies to the policies that got Joe Biden elected.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no doubt about that either.
Mm-hmm.
But again, they're the ones being asked to take one for the team.
Right.
So this other thing, this the bridge and tunnel bill. The bridge and tunnel bill can pass.
Well, I mean, I know that Ilhan Omar said it was more about their priorities and not necessarily the money.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good thing to say. That's a very smart thing to say, because you can always add money to programs.
Exactly.
You make programs, they start to work. People like them. They get popular. They get a little bit of clout behind them.
Yeah.
But again, it's really unfair that she has to say it.
I agree, it is unfair, but it does show that she's getting it, and that's most likely what Pelosi is selling to them. Is like, look, let's just we may not get $3.5 trillion over 10 years right now. But if we pass something, how we want it done, we spend enough money that everybody's happy, we go home to our districts, and then we get a bigger majority, hopefully, in the House and take more seats in the Senate because we've done this. Then the Voting Rights Act is, then we get the Voting Rights Act passed by the end of this year. We get this done now, we do voting rights at the end of the year. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, once again, though, we're all making a capital mistake in that we're we're once again ignoring the big immobile turtle in the middle of the room. None of this stuff's getting through the Senate. Anything that requires 10 Republican votes is dead in the Senate.
Right.
Because you can't count me 10 Republicans who would be on board with any of this.
Right.
You can't do it.
And isn't
you get to 5, you've already counted Susan Collins, and you can't depend on her.
Right. She's the football. Are you hearing rumblings that what I heard was that Chuck Schumer was giving Manchin time to try to get 10 Republicans, and then if it doesn't happen, then there might be some filibuster reform. Are you hearing that? Because I
haven't picked up on that. If Schumer's doing that, he knows it's because Manchin can't get 10 Republicans.
Exactly.
Yeah. Go ahead, Joe. Go find him. That'll be fine.
Yeah. Good luck with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Pretty soon you're making doomed and useless phone calls to Tom Cotton or Mike Lee or somebody.
Anybody who's retiring, let's go, guys. Right. It doesn't matter if the voting rights bill passes. You're not even running anyway.
Not Chuck Grassley though. He's not retiring.
He's 88, right?
Yeah.
He's going to run for another 6-year term, ladies and gentlemen. And no Democrat, by the way, can get snarky about this, considering Dianne Feinstein.
Exactly.
Very true. She needs to retire.
And Joe Biden for that matter.
Right.
But
88 for a 6-year term, that's just retire, man. Enjoy the last few years of your life.
Feinstein is, yeah.
Feinstein's 85? Or is she 88 too?
I thought she was older than that.
I think, Leahy's the oldest one in the Senate, right?
So he's got to be pushing 90 then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I believe Leahy's the oldest one in the Senate.
Wow. Yeah, they should. That's time. I'm glad that Gavin Newsom got through our recall stupidity so that we didn't have to worry about Feinstein for the next year. But she needs to retire, and we need to get somebody like a Katie Porter or something like that into the Senate. Yeah. Though Katie Porter is fantastic in the House, don't go anywhere. So you also wrote about Mike.
If she goes to the Senate, she gets a much bigger whiteboard.
That's true.
Uh-huh.
That's true. She might even be able to type on it instead of having to draw.
I still want her to draw.
I was going to say she loses all her charm if she doesn't.
That is true.
Yeah.
She's fantastic.
Yeah.
She is I love her.